Here is a video that one of our viewers was having a problem with dealing with a plumbing pipe that was located outside of the wall framing that was going to be used for back-to-back bathrooms, or a bathroom on one side and a bathroom on the other side. And I will go into a little more detail about that here in a little bit, but first I want to provide you with an example of a plumbing pipe that might not be located in an exterior wall correctly. And of course this one here is located correctly. However, if it was outside of the wall and you could cover it with some type of a cabinet or even a small box, for example a small box that might be about 12 inches tall, 12 inches wide, and about 2 or 3 inches protruding from the wall to cover up the plumbing if you need to. And of course this is the first example that you might be able to use to solve your problem if you have a plumbing pipe located outside of the wall and you don't have anything located on the other side. For example, we don't need to move this wall in an inch or two when we could simply build some type of a protective box around it and then cover it with drywall, and then of course cover it with a cabinet. Or if it's located behind a toilet, you might be able to cover the area to where no one's ever going to see it or notice it. However, that is probably not going to be the case if you have back-to-back toilets located the exact same distance away from the vent pipe. And the toilets are going to be the main focus here and not the sink or the bathtub drains. However, this is not going to eliminate the installation of the toilet or the bathtubs if, for example, you choose to fur out the wall instead of moving it. So in this example here, we have everything located exactly where it needs to be. However, in this example, I went ahead and moved the plumbing pipe about an inch out of the wall, and with it the toilet flange and drain pipe plumbing for both toilets, along with the rest of the plumbing for both bathrooms. And of course you can see here where the plumbing pipe is not sticking out on this side. However, it was sticking out on the other side. And the problem the individual is dealing with was the layout of the wall framing and not an existing house. If you have an existing house, you're probably going to have problems that have already been fixed somehow. Whether they've been fixed correctly or not might not apply to this video. So here we have a situation where the builder has not framed all of the walls, and during the layout process notice that one of the plumbing pipes was going to be sticking out of the wall on one side of the bathroom, and this was the situation that one of our viewers was dealing with. However, I needed to make this video to make my point, and that is that you can simply move a few walls. You're not just going to move this wall here because it's going to create problems for either side of the bathroom. However, it will be up to you to figure out which walls you can or cannot move. For example, we're not going to have a problem moving these walls because we're just going to make the master bedroom closet 1 inch smaller and this bedroom 1 inch longer. However, it could create problems for our hallway and even our forced air heating and cooling unit. So these are things you are going to need to figure out before, of course, and not after. So I'm going to choose to move these walls here. And like I said, make this bedroom a little wider and this closet a little smaller. However, I am not going to affect the hallway. So let's go ahead and move each one of these walls 1 inch to this side to fix everything that we are dealing with. Now, I would also like to point out that it wouldn't be a bad idea to check the rest of the plumbing. Check the distance between the center of the toilet flange and the face of the wall framing. It should be about 12 3/4 inches because they usually need to be located 12 inches away from the finished wall. Then check to make sure that you're not going to have a problem connecting either one of the bathtubs or either one of the sinks. And the reason why I'm saying that is because sometimes when you have a problem like this, you might be dealing with an inexperienced plumber or someone who might have created a problem with the location of the toilets even after you've moved the walls. And hopefully that makes sense. Been there before. So here you can see where we left this wall, and these walls in place, and haven't affected the width of the hallways. However, have affected these areas here, and then not the bathrooms because we fixed everything there. And then of course this area here, and then the width of these rooms. So this is what it would look like after you have fixed the plumbing problem. However, I could not have ended this video without providing you with an example of what it would have looked like if you left all of the walls alone and chose to just fur out one of the walls. And trust me, I've been here before. I've had to deal with this nightmare. And you're usually going to end up with enough room to install the bathtub on one side. However, you're not going to end up with enough room to install it on the other side. And of course, I've seen this problem solved by not furring out the area where the tub is going to be installed and simply stopping it at the edge of the tub or back a little bit. So something like this usually won't be the end of the world if you left everything alone and chose to fur out the walls. Next up on the list will be the toilet flange location. And here you can see where we have 1 foot 1 inch on this side after we furred out the wall and enough room to install our toilet. However, on the other side we don't, because after we install our drywall we're going to have about 11¼ inches. And even this isn't the end of the world, because you can buy a toilet that will fit in this area. And I actually wasn't aware of this until I made a video probably about 10 or 15 videos ago where someone pointed out that you could buy toilets that will fit in a 10-inch space or a 10-inch distance between the center of the toilet and the finished wall covering. That's usually going to be drywall. So there you have it. And hopefully if I did my job correctly, you learned something from this video. And you won't just move one wall or fur out one wall if it's going to work better to help your plumber out and avoid jackhammering up all of the plumbing in here just because someone couldn't solve this simple problem by moving the wall framing before the walls were framed.